Welcome to the BEEVisio training. We're going to put the hive on wheels now. To do this, I'll start by inserting the drive sleeves at the bottom. The drive sleeves are for the wheels. I've already got them in there. Drive and bush, I'll select them. I can enter 2820 up here. That's basically the cost of the drive-in sleeves. BC 2820. Then we've got 3 to choose from, an A, a B, and a D version. The A is the half size, B is MM12, and D is MM10. As I needed hundreds of rolls on the checklist on the sketch pad, they've got M12, I'll use the size 12 insertion sleeve. I'll just pop that in now, and you can see that they also have a clean alignment point. If they didn't have the right magnetic alignment point, in other words, I'd now take the 0,9, and if I were to slot a 0,9 in, it would sit like that. Just wrong. And then I realize, oops, something's not right. I could do that 20 times, and it would always be wrong. Then I realize, oops, I've made a mistake. I need the right insertion sleeve, and when I put that in, it slides neatly into the pipes. Right. The right wheels are the AG wheels with the threaded spindle. I know it's an EVGP tread, and now I've got 2 to choose from. 100 diameter, 1 swivel caster, and 1 swivel caster with a brake. That means I could now fit 2, whether at the front or the back. But I could also fit 4 swivel casters. I'll fit them in. Hopefully, these will also have the right attachment points. Suitable magnetic points simply have to be different. Right. Right. Now we've got 4 swivel casters fitted up there. In theory, I could already turn or swivel them a bit now. Engage the drive shaft. Select the swivel axis. Switch off the drive shaft. It looks a bit nicer now. For the last roller, select the swivel axis, press the control button, and swivel it over once. Good. At this stage, at the very latest, I should save this, because at the moment we only have 1 scene. That means the component hasn't been saved yet. Don't wait until the end, because it's actually quite possible that the program might crash at some point. As with many CAD systems, that can happen. Sample, drive-in racking, save. Now I can see it has a name. It's not just scene, it actually has a name. Save. Now we're actually at the stage where we can say we're past the outside bit. We're already inside the burrow. So I should keep saving the burrow as I go along. There's an option where I can go to the options menu and reduce the frequency of the save every 15 minutes prompt, so that I get a reminder every 10 minutes to save the file. There isn't actually an automatic save function as such, just a reminder. Right. To carry on, to edit a plane, I'd say I only ever use 2 rods. But I can say that I use, well, this is the top level assembly now. I'd almost open that one up again, the top level one. And I'd open that one up too, because I always need a new layer individually, so that's these ones and these ones. I'd put those together into a single assembly. Right, I just want to check the planned dimensions. According to the sketch sheet, it's about 1,000 wide and 1,300 deep, just to fit the right containers in. I can go up to the top now and have a look to see what I've actually got. At the moment, I've got 1,000 millimeters inside, but in terms of depth, only 1,200. That means the feature should actually be 100 millimeters deeper. To do that, I definitely need to exit measurement mode again. Now I can select all the features. There's a command up here, extend component stretch. I can also cut, but I generally always use the stretch command. The stretch command means that I first need to select a face and decide along which cutting axis I want to stretch the feature. I'll now select a connector here, the end face. It's already shown a small face here. That's my cutting plane along the X and Z axes. Don't be misled into thinking that this only represents a small area. It's actually infinite. That means this surface intersects everything in the entire space, regardless of whether the structure were 2 meters, 5 meters, or 50 meters long and 10 meters high. Anything it would intersect along the X and Z axes, it would, in principle, also stretch or cut through. To make sure that I'm not just moving or intersecting the edge here, and perhaps the connector as well, I'll just move it away a little bit now. So I've selected the axis, switched on the dry bit, and now I haven't switched it off. I've now moved my cutting plane in far enough that I'm sure I'm not cutting any joints, wheels, or containers, but only the current long pieces. And now I can specify again whether I want to select the left or the right. Now I'm extending or trimming everything that goes to the right. With this command, I can extend or trim everything to the left. I'll do this towards the back now. I'll say the assembly should be 100 millimeters longer, and then, with that single command, it extends all the components that were to the right of my cut plane by 100 millimeters. Plus it cuts the pipes, cutting them at right angles, by the same length. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next BEEVisio training.